Hi guys, we're in a new area, so I'm going to do just some pans, and we'll see some interesting structures that look subtle at first, but they're a little more obvious once you study them. Slowly pan around. There's a triple lane, all going the same direction. Down timber. A lot of down timber here. Everybody, so I haven't been down into this area for it's probably been 12, maybe 14 years, so everything's changed as I remember it. I'll catch you guys, see you further up the trail. I'm back, guys. Look at this, we have one right in front of us, and 2, 3, all lanes in the same direction. And they continue in that direction downhill that way. As I sweep around, I thought this was something I thought was pretty interesting. There's an arch right there, and I'm going to walk over to it. It's probably, I'm going to see if it's pinned on the top end, so let's see what we find. Area I want to I'll call it State Park S. It's in Illinois. It's an area that's, at least the area I'm in, is traveled very little. Let's see what that end right here, how it's trapped, and sure enough, this is an old right here under this branch right here. It's way on top of it. What's interesting is where it's tucked. If you follow it down, right there, where it's tucked, it's tucked right there. It's sort of, you have two sticks laid over it, creating a little X. But the tuck goes all the way under there, under this second branch, continues out. It's definitely trapped or tucked under the two branches. A lot of weird structure up here. We'll walk over here, and here's another instance of a tree right here that was bent with a snap log laying directly on the top of it, right there. I thought that was it actually put so much force on it, it started to split the bend, split the arch. And they got this giant snap tree laying on top of it right here. As you follow it up, laid right on top of this bend. For an area I've never really thought to research, who would have known? part of it's deadfall, but there's some sticks inserted in there that has no bark. Like right there. Other sticks inserted every which way here. I'm going to walk out of here and see what we find. A lot of this stuff looks old and looks like it's been here in this condition for some time. Here's a recent, that looks more like a recent snap, a break. Pointed in the same direction of the lanes I filmed earlier. I'm trying to be a lot more steady and control my pans and reduce the shakiness as much as I can. So I apologize, everyone. Yeah, let's look at this break over. And they're all over this area. You look ahead. There's a break there. Another break there. There's breaks everywhere in here. It's a little crazy. Well, guys, I'll catch you further up trail. Hi guys, I'm back. I'm coming up this steep incline from the trail below me, and I come across this little small sapling. You can see right here where it's pinned under this burnt piece of this limb or branch that might have been struck by lightning and fell off the tree. And they took it and they pinned the top of this little sapling. It goes up into a little mini arch. But here it is from the downhill side, going down below that little piece of burnt branch, and then comes up at the base of this large tree. But then it's almost like, as some people say, the little ones copying the big ones, because then right over here there's a huge arch, a big tree, fairly large, not a sapling anymore, but definitely a larger tree, been bent over and trapped underneath this deadfall that's been dragged there, and I used to trap the top of it. And it's right next to this little bend. Here's the bigger bend. Still a living tree coming up. Then tucked right underneath this deadfall. woodpecker's been busy. It's like generations of woodpeckers have put holes in this dead log. That is, I've never seen them that big. But then if you follow the tree down to the root end, there's the obvious root end. It's decayed. What's left of the root ball in the ground. This tree fell over and fell downhill. So no mystery there. Then we walk a little further up and there's another pinned arch, another bend in the top of it, again pinned under deadfall. Walk up on it. Yeah, this arch, this bend has been dead for some time, but look how it's inserted. It has a huge tree, dead tree, dragged and was placed over it. It's probably been there for some time. This is a very old bend, but it looks manipulated. It looks like it was bent over when it was living and was still supple and flexible, and they pinned the top of it with this this forked end of this tree coming off the ground, which looks like it's been dragged here. No evidence of a root ball on that end. So I find this everywhere. So I'll walk up over here. See what we can find. Touching the ground right there. But the remainder of that tree is still alive. So let's proceed. Look a little deeper, see what we find. Stuck into the crook of this tree. This area is loaded with bends. Here's another one. More of a shallow arch, but a little more subtle. I guess you could call that a ground X. Don't see a lot of them in this area. But then you walk over, you follow one of the legs of that X, the end of that branch or limb all the way down to the end here, and they've got a triangle. What some people in the Bigfoot community feel is unusual, sort of very unusual. I can't talk today. It's like One end is under this branch. You follow this one up. It's tucked under here, and you follow this one up, and it's tucked under here. What's that? Nathan Rio calls it a Triforce triangle, or I just call it a triangle, but it is very significant. It looks like for it to fall in that pattern would be highly coincidental. One would have to fall before the other. I don't know. I don't think it's natural. I think this is strictly placed here. And what's funny is they were using, they shoved a stick in the middle, as you can see right here. Stick in the middle. And then there's a burnt branch laying underneath everything right here. So I don't see a lot of, I see a lot of triangles on the ground, but not in this configuration. What you would call a Triforce triangle, I guess is what Nathan Rio calls it. I find that cool. Let's continue on. See where this takes us. This is we're at the top of the hill, overlooking river, the Illinois River, which you might be able to see down there in the distance. There's water along the banks of the Illinois. Deadfall in this area. So I will catch you further down the trail. I'm back, guys. Now I find this rather strange. There's pretty much a perfect X right in front of me. It looks symmetrical. One is placed in the groove between the branch and the trunk of that small tree, and is leaned. It's like they, for one to fall first and the other to fall right there before the first one hits the ground, to me is highly unlikely. If one fell and then the other one was put in place, that I can believe, because the one that goes up to the right is leaning in the top of this tree. The second one would have had to fall perfectly to wedge itself right there, the one on the left. And it would have to have been fall in such a way that it made it perfectly symmetrical. That I find hard to believe. And one thing about this area, we do have X's. We don't have them in the abundance they do out in the Rockies, or maybe parts of the Northwest, but or the Cascades, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But they are here. They're just not abundant. We seem to have a lot of bends and arches and leans in the occasional teepee. So I'm going to head out and continue along this top of this hill above the ridge line, and see what we find. I mean, I see incidental leans everywhere, and I could explain, I could say 50-60% of those leans are due to storms, high winds, and snow load. But some of them are too suspicious and almost indicate that they were placed there. Be back in a few minutes, another 100 yards. Later, guys. I'm back, guys. I want you to look at this. Here's two leans, no bark on them. Go all the way to the top and converge the same spot exactly converge in the same spot and then continue up. One of them does, and the other one only goes a short way, but it's almost like they picked the same length of these little leans, these saplings where the branches broke off, or really long limbs, I don't know what to call them, but let's see what we find in this area. A lot of snaps. And I was making my way to this area, coming up the hill behind me. And saw some interesting bends. We had endless track of it. Yeah, there it is, right ahead of me. Yeah, there's that bend there. Pretty prominent. As I get closer, I'll take a better look. It appears to be bent over and trapped, possibly. I've seen where they're even shaped that way. There's another one. This area is populated with bends. It's sort of a little crazier than I thought it would be. I didn't expect this much, I guess, activity, even if it's old activity. It's still pretty interesting. Yep, as I suspected. The top of it is trapped. They're tucked right below these branches right here. You can see it right there, that's where it's tucked below the branch, and you follow it up, and that's the rest of the arch. It's an old one. No bark on it, literally no bark. The evidence here is, I think, pretty significant. Hard to overlook it. Here's another bend. It couldn't be more than 35 feet away from the one I just showed you. Again, this tree is alive, and if you follow it down, it's tucked right underneath this one. Sort of interesting how it's tucked. It's like it's broken or wrapped. Tucked right underneath this branch right here. And you can see where it comes out the other side, which I'll show was done probably more than a year, maybe 2 years ago. 3 still alive, trapped underneath a piece of deadfall that looks like it was dragged here, or it could have been a snap that they created and dragged here. Who knows? Then you look ahead to this mess right here. And you got a series of lanes continuing. There's one there, there's one there, but some craziness going on up there. Several lanes, 2 pointing in the same direction, one there pointing in the opposite direction. What it means, I don't know. I have my thoughts about it, but I can't prove any of it. Then you look further back here, what appears to be an X. There's some really weirdness going on back there. So I'm going to skirt this ridge, and I'm going to say adios for now, and catch you guys a little later. See you soon. Hey guys, I'm back. I want to show you something here. Huge lane right there. And there's a forked end or trident end straddling the trunk of that tall, slim tree right there. And it comes down all the way down to the ground. And it's trapped a bend. The bend has been inserted, or tree has been inserted right in the middle of this mess. I don't know if you can see it. That's been inserted right in the middle of this mess. The tree comes down, goes up, and it's pushed over right inside between that lane and that other broken piece of giant branch, Y-shaped branch laying down. And then you follow the end of this branch down, and it comes over to here and traps another lane, or I should say bend, for tree arch right here. There it is, trapped by that upside down Y-shaped branch. Small bend, small sapling that's been bent over. I don't know what to make of it. It's sort of an odd conglomeration of, it's a very strange structure, and indeed looks manipulated. Here it goes up again, and then there's the first bend trapped in the middle between the Y-shaped upside down branch and the lean. See it right there. And then you follow one of the one of the legs of the upside down Y-shaped branch down to here, and you see the second bend right there trapped in it. I think it's too much of a coincidence. To me it seems placed. Very strange. So we're gonna head this direction toward this ravine. I'm making all these clips short, so when I do merge them together, I don't have an hour-long video. I'll try to keep it under 40 minutes if I can, maybe even a half hour. We're going to head out, try to cross this ravine without too much of a problem, and I'll get back with you guys in a second. I'm going to zoom up here and see what we got going up here on the top as this ravine. This drainage here goes uphill. Mishmash of deadfall and stuff up there. Over and out. Catch you guys later. Well guys, I'm leaving this location. I just want to thank you for watching. Again, this I'm going to name this video State Park S, as in a lot of soul. I mean, this place is loaded with interesting stuff. This is where I just came from. There's my back trail. The abundance of lanes across the trail even. And I penetrated into this area from here all the way down there in that direction, probably a good 1.5 miles. And just wanted to say there's just an abundance of bends everywhere I look. Here's another one, nicely tucked under this tree. This comes up the other side, uphill, and there it is. It's a living sapling. I see these saplings tucked everywhere. I understand you have to entertain a little skepticism, but there is an abundance of breaks, lanes, upside down trees hanging upside down. I've seen a few of those. But there's arches and bends everywhere. There's a break right in front of me with a lane right next to it. So appreciate you guys watching. Sorry if this video's too long, but I had to do it in little clips as I was climbing through the hills of this area. The hills off the Illinois River are, I'd say they're medium difficulty, but for me, I'm an older guy, I have to take my time. So I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to sign off, and I'll check you guys later. Bye bye.